Hello everyone, this is Svenrei, and I'm here to teach you about the Excalibur Warframe in the game called Warframe. Now, a lot of you probably know Excalibur just from either playing the game or just seeing the promotional material, and he's basically the face of Warframe. I have my Excalibur here to see, the lovely green and black, immortal skinned Excalibur with my lovely dragon Nikana, but we can get into all that later. So as you can see, my Excalibur's rank 11, yada yada yada, but I'm here to teach you what Excalibur does and what his uses are. So a good place to start would be his stats. You could see average stamina, average shield, average health, average power, average armor. Excalibur is honestly as average a frame as it gets. He doesn't have necessarily any shortcomings, but he doesn't necessarily, top 5 in any particular component there. Next up would be the big thing, would be his abilities. His starting skill is Slash Dash. Now what this is a nice little lunge forward and a slash, and honestly the name gives it all away. It's your primary skill you'll be using as Excalibur, and it's the skill you get from the get-go. Now this skill costs 25 energy at base, and it's, to go into more detail, it's a half-second slide and you deal damage on the way. Now, as some experienced players would know, not even really experienced if you just know how to mod, you'll know that there are 4 main power attributes: strength, duration, range, and efficiency. And you may be asking me, hey Svenrei, so how do these all apply to Excalibur? And I will tell you, friend. Strength increases the damage of Slash Dash, duration increases the speed and distance you cover, which sounds weird because that sounds like a range thing, but duration works for that on Excalibur. And what range does is that increases the striking radius in front of you as you're sliding. That's an important thing to note. And efficiency is the same across all of his skills, where that just lowers the cost to use the ability. His number 2 right here is unlocked at rank 3 for Excalibur. As you get Excalibur to rank 3, he will gain Radial Blind. Now what Radial Blind is, as you can see here, emits a bright flash of light, blinding all enemies in a small radius for several seconds. Now as you can see, it lasts quite a long time, and it has a decent bit of range. And strength does not have an impact on Radial Blind, but duration, of course, increases the duration of the blind, range increases the radius around you, and efficiency, again, reduces the cost. Now we have Super Jump. Super Jump, in my honest opinion, is Excalibur's, most lackluster ability. But I've seen some people do some silly stuff where they'll throw a heavy impact mod on and then play Super Jump and just jump super high in the air and cause a huge shockwave when they land. Super Jump causes you to jump 3 times higher than normal, which can be increased with power strength. Duration has no impact, but the range does increase the stun range when you land, and of course efficiency decreases the cost to Super Jump, so you can spam your Super Jump. I forgot to mention this, but Slash Dash costs 25 mana at base, Radial Blind is 50, Super Jump is only 10, which is kind of an anomaly given, third tier skills. And then now you have Radial Javelin, which is Excalibur's ultimate. You unlock this at rank 10. And what Radial Javelin is Excalibur will stab a sword into the ground, and then he launches javelins everywhere, and they do a ton of damage and impale people to walls. Radial Javelin is, in my honest opinion, one of the best ultimate skills of the game, and honestly never falls off in any level of mission. Now, what Power Strength does to this is it increases the damage, of course, because Strength is just amazing on Excalibur, and I don't think there's a single build that you'd want that doesn't involve Power Strength. Duration does not help Radial Javelin, to my knowledge, but honestly, you will not be needing that if you were to focus on Radial Javelin. Your range increases the radius that your javelins will thrust out, so they can go a longer range before, if there are guys further out, say ranged combatants, then you have a higher chance of puncturing them. And efficiency, of course, has cost. Radial Javelin costs 100 energy, but with max efficiency, it drops down to, if my math is correct, 25 energy, meaning you will get 4 Radial Javelin casts off for the cost of 1 normally. Now that is honestly amazing. And that covers the skills of Excalibur. Now to cover basically what I feel is a very good loadout for him. You'll see I have my Dragon Nikana equipped. Excalibur works really well with almost any melee weapon in the game, if not every single melee weapon in the game. He's a melee-oriented frame, he focuses on gap closing, and realistically, you're just going to want a melee weapon equipped on him at all times, because as you can see, you can unequip weapons here, but I do have a melee equipped with him. A primary, again, you're going to want to be very close range, so you're going to want something with either a lot of fire rate, namely a Soma, or you're going to want something that does a lot of damage but doesn't necessarily have the highest accuracy, namely a shotgun like a Warframe or a Strun or not a Vectis because that's a sniper rifle, but a Tigris. And now your secondary you will not spend a lot of time on with Excalibur, given the fact that either you're fighting at a range with your primary, or ideally you're closing the range and you're doing a lot of damage with your melee weapon. So I feel like that covers Excalibur fairly well, and hopefully you gained a better understanding of what Excalibur can do. In my opinion, he's a very strong frame that works very well from either if you start the game with him because he's one of the 3 starter frames, or you take him all the way into the late game. I have never seen an Excalibur not do well in a mission. He's a very solid frame, very steady, and I personally recommend him. So this has been Svenrei, and I hopefully taught you a little bit more about Excalibur and maybe a little bit more about Warframe and how powers interact on the way. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Alright, well, take care.